Okay, this will be an interesting one. I've had this for months. I haven't used it for some reason. I kept putting it off, but it's really quite a nice piece to do, I do think. So let's see if we can just rip in and do it. So finally, we'll get this out of the way. Going to add a little contrast. Okay, let's see what this is. It is, I folded it, it's a scarf, and it's got this on the other side as well. So we're going to photocopy that, a section out of that. So this will be a challenging one, and there's the tassels. I don't think the tassels are going to be included in this. So I'm just going to lift this up and place it on the photocopier. I do think it might be, it's inside out. Fuck it. I hate it when I do things inside out. It looks better the right way. So we'll just show you the correct version. That's the way we want it, not inside out. Although it still shows inside out. Maybe that's an interesting concept. Yeah, I think it is inside out because that's black and that's purple. So yeah, it was inside out. Sorry. I just have to play with the buttons before I lose the settings. So we're just going to take this section here on the edge and we're going to put it up. I don't know how I'm going to maneuver the rest of this without getting it on the floor, the dirty floor. I hate dropping things on floors because floors are dirty. I always assume that if you drop something on the floor, it's going to be dirty. That's the rule, the common rule of thumb that I have, especially with cooking. That photocopier seemed to pause for a moment. I don't know why. But yeah, if you drop something on the floor, it's dusty, it's dirty. You know that you've probably been walking outside and you step in some dog shit, or where dog shit once was. You can't see the germs. So I get really annoyed when I drop things on the floor. I do, I get very pissed off. That looks really quite nice. I still think it could be better. But basically I do get annoyed with that. But basically I really miss a loved one that I'm trying to locate. I'm trying to get this video work of me and my photocopier up there on primetime TV to try and get my partner and I back together, because we are alone. We are lonely, and it's really sad to be alone for so long, and it's really difficult dealing with the desolation of being outside of your away from your partner, and it really hurts. Wondering if we're gonna move it down a bit. So it really hurts to be away from your loved one and trying to make something of your creativity in the process, trying to be an artist as well, trying to make people recognise, especially my father and my brother, who both hate my creative work, and I'm trying to get this stuff to be... this is all I'm good at, folks, at this stage. I've got disabilities, so I can't work in a normal job. So this does not get severely affected by my disability. So I'm doing what I'm good at and what I know that I can do without without too much effort. Now that looks interesting. I think we might have to still enlarge it a bit on the vertical, but basically it gets really lonely without Luigi. It really does. I wonder if we can push it down a bit further. So I'm trying to work with what I'm talented at, and that's a lesson that everyone should learn, even if they're not disabled, is to focus on what you're best at, and stuff what the opposition has to say, what your enemies or even your family has to say. And basically you have to just be yourself and not allow other people to put you off your game. That can be difficult for a lot of people. A lot of people unfortunately follow the leader, and they are what's known as sheeple. And being a sheeple seems to have become a very trendy kind of thing, and I've just fucked this up. So being a sheeple, instead of being yourself and being a part of being a leader, being a sheeple seems to be more glorified than being a trailblazer. My dad and my brother don't appreciate what I do. They'd rather me follow the crowd and just disappear into the crowd and do what everyone else does, be normal. But I fucking hate normalcy. I've learned to totally reject it, eschew it. I eschew the idea of being normal, being conventional. I no longer espouse the idea of being normal. I used to think being normal was good, but it doesn't work. It's not as good as people like my father and my brother like to think. They don't like, if you're considered eccentric, or you're basically on the outer. Now this is probably as good as it gets. So if you're a person who is eccentric, eccentricity is often viewed as craziness or not being quite, being eccentric. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, we've got to be proud of it, So I know my dad and my brother hate eccentricity or being odd or peculiar or different, but I can't be anything else but. I am eccentric, and that's just part of who I am. It's not something I should eschew, like I eschew normalcy. But basically, they've got to accept that that's just the way I am, that I'm not normal. So what? I don't have gaggles of friends. So what? So fucking what? Who cares? Who really fucking gives a flying fig or a flying fuck about being normal and having a huge gathering of fucking friends? Who needs fucking friends when I want to get married and I'm only interested in that person who I'm going to marry, and he loves me as my eccentric self? His name is Luigi, and I'm trying to get this shit on television. And to be normal, if you're going to do it, be a normal person, you're not going to get very far. I'm hoping that eccentricity is something that would go down well with the news to make a difference. Because not everyone's born to be a sheeple. I'm not a sheeple. I don't fucking follow the crowd. I don't care about the crowd. Crowd can go fuck itself as far as I'm concerned. I just don't have any time or desiring to follow the crowd, folks. I just don't. Haven't got it. Crowd can go fuck itself. I don't care about the fucking crowd. If they don't like it, fuck you, crowd. I don't need the fucking crowd to validate me. I'm trying to get in touch with a loved one, so that's really a challenge. He loves me as I am. He wouldn't have me any other way. Anyway, that looks really quite nice. I think now, wonder if we could do a switcheroo. Maybe a switcheroo is in order to get this as the centre piece this time. But basically I'm trying to get my stuff to go to air, and it's really been a challenge. Sorry about this really chaotic switcheroo, folks. You still see I've got the edges there, the black areas, but basically I'm really trying my hardest to be the person that I'm supposed to be, and part of that is to get my stuff on free to air primetime news. So I'm trying my best to put my best foot forward as an artist. Anyway, I think that looks probably maybe even better. Gotta go.